What's up, moviegoers? Welcome to the Marchio podcast. I'm your host, Anthony. In this episode of the Marchio podcast, I'm talking about Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. The movie was released July 28th, 1989, has a running time of 100 minutes, had a budget of $5 to $6 million, and grossed domestically $14.3 million at the box office. Now, Kane Otter reprises his role as Jason Voorhees. It is the 8th installment in the Friday the 13th film series, and it follows Jason as he stalks a group of high school graduates on a ship en route to New York City. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, how the hell is there an 8th movie, and what the hell happened, and how did Jason get resurrected after Tina killed him in Part 7, The New Blood? Well, this is what happened. Jason Voorhees this time, once again, was resurrected, but this time Jason was resurrected by underwater electrical cable. Yeah, once again, electricity brought him back to life. So technically, he's like superhuman times 2. So basically, he starts a killing spree on a ship that the students are on during their high school trip. And this trip ends up being to New York City, and he ends up being in New York. The reason I absolutely love this movie, even though it got serious, negative, and overwhelming reviews, the reason I like this is because it's just a campy horror movie. It's a slasher movie, and it's Jason out of his comfort zone. He's in the big city. He's in the Big Apple, and when you take a character out of their comfort zone, things are going to happen. And I liked it because this movie never took place on Camp Crystal Lake, maybe for a few minutes in the beginning, but at the end and through the course of the movie, this movie is always on a ship, and the last maybe hour or hour and 45 minutes is in New York City. The deaths in this are really interesting. It's different, and they're done so well. And it shows in everything that's done. And once again, as you know, Jason Voorhees is now a monster since Jason Lives, Part 6, because Tommy Jarvis resurrected him through certain means. And then in Part 7, he fought Tina, who was telekinetic, who had powers of her own. And then once again, he's resurrected in Part 8 through electrical cables running somehow through, certain ways and means. So the movie's different, and it's interesting. And there are scenes where you see Jason interacting with the city of New York. And there's a scene where he sees himself on a billboard, and it's a hockey mask. And it has, some kind of thing about hockey, or, buy this equipment today or something. And he just looks at it, and he's like, is that me or what? It's really good. It's really done well. And I did like a scene where in the movie there is this athlete who tries to beat up and just tries to hit Jason over and over with punches. He lands about 100 to 150 punches, and it doesn't faze Jason Voorhees at all because now he's superhuman. So what happens? Jason punches him in the face, and his head goes flying off the roof into a dumpster, and then Jason just looks over and is like, all right, well, that's it, and just walks off. It's a great, great movie. I love it because, like I said, Part 8 is just a campy horror movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. I didn't like the way Jason Voorhees kind of so-called, quote-unquote, died in the end. Basically through sewage and waste and water, he just melts away, and that's it. You make this character superhuman through 3 movies, from Part 6 to 8, 6, 7, and 8, and then you kill him with sewer water. What the hell? Why did you do that? That's it. This waste engulfs him, causing his face to melt away, and basically, one of the characters sees Jason as his final vision of him is in his child form in the water. So Jason was all this time, he's afraid of water. That's his weakness. And the way Tom McLaughlin in Part 6 introduced that weakness into the series was good. Because even though he's a monster, he's superhuman, he does have a fear of something, and that fear is water. It was interesting and it was good, but I didn't like the way how he died in this. It was basically a cheap write-off to not knowing how to kill a character that is a monster or superhuman. So even though the director and writer, Rob Hedden, tried to do a good job with this, he kind of failed at the end. From the beginning up until that point, the movie is great. I love it because, like I said, it's a campy movie. It takes Jason Voorhees out of his environment, which is Camp Crystal Lake, and drops him into the big city, the Big Apple of New York City. It's great. And not only is the poster fantastic, it says that New York has a new problem. And we see the city skyline of New York, Jason Voorhees in the background looking over the city with a knife. And there's another big poster out there where it's Jason Voorhees slashing through the I Love New York logo with a knife. The logo was actually taken down because the New York City Tourism Committee filed a complaint against Paramount Pictures. Well, boo-hoo and bah-ha, everybody felt bad because, but yet it kind of brought tourism to your city. You have foreigners watching Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and you bring him in. It's like, holy shit, what's happening here, Hey, even though this movie didn't do too good at the box office, it was lacking in certain aspects of the character development and just throwing in new characters here and there. I mean, even though we care about Mrs. Voorhees and Jason Voorhees, who are the main antagonists in the series, the only other two characters we care about are Tommy Jarvis and Tina. Tommy Jarvis is the subsequent protagonist through 4 and 5 and 6, and then Tina comes in Part 7. So you can tell that that's the aspect of it, It didn't work with this one, with the character development, because basically this is just a Jason movie, and it's good to see that Jason had his own movie, even though the other subsequent movies, except Part 5, didn't feature the real Jason Voorhees. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Is it your favorite in the Friday the 13th movies? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you enjoy it? And what did you think about how Jason was killed at the end? Do you think the writer could have gone a different way after Jason was such a powerful superhuman monster in Part 6, 7, and 8? Let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked. And stay tuned to the next episode of the Marchio podcast, where I talk about Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new videos and new podcast episodes on the Marchio Productions YouTube page. And follow Marchio Productions on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And follow me, Anthony, your host, on Instagram and Twitter at misterfilmstock. And follow the Marchio Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll leave a link to all the social media accounts in the description box below. You can check it out and follow along. All right, everyone, that does it for today's episode. I'm your host, Anthony. Thanks for tuning in.